I remember, you know, as a kid, you don't understand why your parents can't just stop, why they can't just give it up for you. And that was one of the biggest things as a kid, asking my mom and my dad, like, why can't you just love us? Why can't you be here for us? Like, why is that first? And then when I got into my addiction, I said, oh.
Welcome back to the Hopeaholics podcast. I'm your girl, Natalie Eva Marie.
And I'm Chad Carlson, and you're listening to the #1 addiction and mental health podcast.
And you guys, if you or a loved one is struggling, make sure you head to askevamarie.com or chaddick.com and chat with one of our AI companions 24/7.
Or text the number right here on the screen.
Together, we are breaking the stigma around addiction and mental health.
And fighting the fentanyl epidemic.
Now, let's get into the episode.
You can put my 4-step out there if you want. I don't care at this point in my life. There's some weird shit on it, though. I'd be a little bit embarrassed if, you know, because people would, they would, you know, whisper and be like.
They already do. So
It's just the weird shit. The weird shit that we do on drugs. That's like, what the fuck? And if normal people don't, I mean, maybe they do. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Oh shit, we're live.
We're live.
How long have we been live? This whole conversation that I was having right now.
Talking about
Emily.
Your weird shit.
Jasper, welcome to the Hopeaholics podcast.
Hello.
Since we're on that topic, though, like, yeah, the weird shit that we do, especially, I don't know, have you ever shot meth before?
I did not.
Oh, thankfully. I mean, it makes you do some weird shit. Have you ever shot meth?
Not shot, smoked.
Smoked, snorted. Yeah. Shooting it takes you to a different planet, though. It's not fucking not good.
I feel like smoking it took me to another planet too.
Like all the drugs I've taken have taken me to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've visited a lot of planets.
Jasper, where are you from, man?
Yeah.
I'm from Tulare, California. It's
Tulare?
Yeah,
Where is
over by
that?
Fresno.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, so
Emily,
Emily
do you
is
know-
from Hanford.
Yeah.
So Tulare's right there with it. So
Two towns that you never hear of.
yeah, when she was like, "Oh, Tulare, I'm from Hanford," I'm like, "You're one of the only people I've talked to where they're like, where's that?"
Right.
Every time.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Have you ever been to Bass Lake before?
Yeah,
I love Bass Lake. I grew up going there every summer.
I love it there. I love fishing. That's what me and my dad would do together. That's how we bond. So there's a place over there called Balch Park. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. It's
Yeah.
just in the middle of nowhere and quiet, and just you could be there with your thoughts. When I was in my addiction, I didn't like that so much.
Right.
Being with my thoughts.
Sure.
But now I'm not so uncomfortable being with my thoughts.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, is that what I'm hearing? Okay. I was like wondering what the hell was going on in my headphones. Could
What
you
was
hear
it?
it? I just hear this like shh. You guys
Still?
hear it? Yeah, it's just the refrigerator. We forgot to unplug it. Watch this. Just goes away. It's amazing. I can't believe that refrigerator is that damn loud.
Really?
Yeah. Thanks, Monster, though, for the refrigerator and
yeah.
all the drinks
That's
in
right.
there. You know, thanks, Rain Energy, for, you know.
Dad's really trying to get it sponsored by Monster Energy and be a Rain Total Body Fuel athlete at his young age of 51 years old.
I'm going to be the oldest.
Hey, you look great for your
I,
age.
Yeah, right?
I look great for even younger than my age. How about that, Emily? What was
Yeah.
But I think it would be dope. Don't you think it would be dope to like, because here's the thing. I've always liked Monster. Monster was my brand since when I used to drink energy drinks. I'm not a huge energy drinker anymore. If I do drink them now, I only drink Rain Storm. And I think I could really help promote Rain and Rain Storm at the attic
he's
level.
basically- he's
at the
basically-
attic level, because like you go to meetings, too many people drinking Celsius, man.
Oh, yeah,
It's
they do.
not okay.
Me and my Red Bull, man.
Yeah,
Me and my Red Bull.
Celsius, Red Bull. We got to get them off the tables over at the
Especially
12-step
in the,
meetings.
yeah, I was just gonna say, especially in the recovery circuit.
Dude, you go, and there are 40 million
Yeah.
people that go to meetings in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If one of those, if just everybody drinks 1 can a day, Rain's doing pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So that's my pitch to Rain and Monster, because Monster owns Rain. Natalie's already an athlete and the face of the franchise.
I'm just gonna start slanging them outside of an AA meeting.
Yeah,
Outside of the
dude.
Table.
Just set up a table.
Everyone would love
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Free reigns. Come on.
Free reign,
Yep.
but you got to throw away that Celsius.
First hit for free.
Yep. Straight drug dealing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, going back to you.
All right.
Siblings.
I have 2 sisters that live in Oregon. I didn't grow up with them.
Oh, okay.
They came into our life a little bit later.
Okay.
I think I was 23 the first time we
Oh,
actually
wow.
actually seen each other and got to know each other.
Were they full blood or half?
So it's with my dad and one of his ex-wives. So
Okay, so half.
And then I have my oldest sister, Joy. She is also my half sister. My dad has raised her since she was 5. So it's never been like she's half sister, you know.
Oh, okay.
She's always been there. She's more like my mom. She raised me.
Okay.
She raised me, my brother, and my other sister. So there's Joy, she's the oldest, and then there's Autumn, and then me, and then my brother, Jeremiah.
Okay.
And she has raised us since she was 15 years old. So she had my nephew at 15, and she was taking care of my nephew and her 3 siblings. At 15 years old, my mom was in prison.
Oh,
And
wow.
my dad was working, and he was an alcoholic. So my mom had went to prison twice, both for welfare fraud.
No way.
First time I was 2. My brother was just a baby. And then the second time I remember it because I was in kindergarten, and they had called us to the office for my sister and them to let us know that my mom wasn't coming home. She was gone for 2 years the first time and 3 years the second. So my mom wasn't really in my life my whole life, because from the time I was in her belly, she was battling addiction. She had an opiate addiction before I was even born. And my dad struggled with alcohol before I was even born. So those things were already in my life before I was even here. And I didn't know how much it was going to be a part of my life. I didn't know that it was even going to be my story, you know? Growing up with addiction and alcohol in your family and your life, from the time you can remember anything, it felt normal. Like, I remember my dad driving with us in the truck with a beer in his lap with a paper bag. And I remember me and my brother would put our drinks in paper bags and put them in between our legs and pretend we were driving like our dad. So if I'm going to take you through the whole story of my life, it's kind of chaotic. It goes everywhere, because that's kind of how my life was as a kid. I was everywhere, scattered. So when my mom got out of prison, we were living with my dad at the time, and my sister was pretty much taking care of us on the weekends and while my dad was at work. And then when my mom got out, we were excited to have my mom around. And so I remember we wrote my dad a letter. I think I was in 2nd grade of, I don't want to live with you anymore. I want to live with my mom. And I remember he dropped us off on the doorstep, just left us there, like left us on the doorstep. We knocked and they answered the door and we're just there with our bags like, We're here to live with you. And my sister's like, what's going on? And my mom did really good for a while after she got out of prison. She held a job as a caregiver. She worked nights, and for a minute there, it was good. I remember the good parts of my mom, not as much as all of the bad stuff, because there was so much of it that it clouded everything else. Like, I have good memories with my mom. I love my mom to death. She's my mom. But most of what I remember of my mom isn't great. And as a kid, growing up in addiction, you don't think you're going to grow up and be that way, because you think, oh, I've seen it. I know what that does. I'm not going to do it. And I remember, as a kid, you don't understand why your parents can't just stop, why they can't just give it up for you. And that was one of the biggest things as a kid, asking my mom and my dad, like, why can't you just love us? Why can't you be here for us? Like, why is that first? And then when I got into my addiction, I said, oh, I get it. I get it. I remember when I got to rehab and I was still working through all of my stuff. One of my therapists put it perfectly for me to understand it. I told her, I forgave my mom. And she's like, but did you really? Because if you're still holding on to resentment, have you truly forgiven? And I had to take a real big, deep look at myself. Like, I haven't forgiven her all the way. And when I started to do that deep work on myself and realize that I was there too, I don't hold anything towards my parents anymore. Once you go through addiction, your heart breaks to know that your parents probably wanted to. They wanted to give you that life. They wanted to give you that love, but they had things in their life that broke them the way that I was broken. I didn't know that, The way my therapist put it was, sorry.
No, you're good.
She put it in a way for me to understand. How do I put it? I lost it. Hanging on to something that doesn't serve you anymore, it only holds you back. And I realized it was holding me back. I numbed myself my whole life because I was so uncomfortable in my body and what I went through as a kid. And it's so hard to go through my story because it's so hectic back and forth that I don't want to get everything confused. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try my best to not jump back and forth.
Let me ask you one question though. Growing up, number one, your mom was using opiates. Were you born addicted, or had she gotten off the substances?
To be honest, I don't.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Hey, you don't know.
I don't know.
And then prior to that, because like you said, right now, you even felt uncomfortable in your own body. Can you go back as far as you can remember? Because I can go back as far as I can remember. and I've always felt not okay. I always felt like I was different. There was something wrong with me. I was defective.
I was 4. I remember the age of feeling like I didn't belong. And then you pile everything on top that you go through, and that just makes it even harder.
Yeah.
Because you want to numb everything and forget everything. And when I entered rehab, I didn't realize how numb I was until I finally started to come off of everything, and then I had every emotion hit me at once. I think I hadn't cried in, I feel like, years, like a real cry, until I got clean, and I was just like, what's going on? I don't know why I'm crying. Why am I mad? Why am I sad? Why am I happy? Like, what's going on? But it felt good to know that I still had those emotions. They didn't go away. They were still there. I felt broken for a long time because I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I feel happiness? Why can't I feel sadness? Why can't I cry when I know I want to cry? When I know I'm hurting? Why can't it come out? Like, what's going on? I've even had times here where I was like, am I broken? Like, I'm not crying and I want to cry. And they're like, you still got to work through some stuff. So I remember, getting back to what we were talking about before we started, how my God shot of, you guys are the reason I got sober. So
Which is crazy.
It's a trip. I never even heard of you guys before, ever. I had been praying to God. God, I don't know what to do. Like, I need something to give me hope. And I was on Instagram, and one of your guys' videos popped up. And so I went into my Spotify, and I just opened it up and started listening from the very first time you guys started podcasts. And as I'm working, I'm listening, and at the end, you guys give your number. And if you or a loved one needs help, call or text this number. It was 3:00 in the morning, and I text you guys. And I told you, I don't know what to do, but I know that if I don't get help, I'm going to die. And you guys text me back right away and told me someone would be reaching out the next day. And I have kept in contact with Taryn since that day till today. I still talk to her today. I let her know what's going on in my life because I am so thankful to you guys. So thankful to each and every one of you guys here. I didn't think that I could ever be in the position I'm at today. Like, when I found your guys' podcast, I was broken. I was at my rock bottom. And I was listening to you guys. Taryn called me the next day, and I'm freaking out because I didn't even know I had insurance. I was so deep in my addiction, I didn't even know I had insurance. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I can't pay for it. I don't have insurance. Like 2 days before I come here, I'm like looking through everything, trying to figure out how I'm going to get here, how I'm going to tell my family. None of my family knows what's going on. Taryn's trying to walk me through it. Like, if you need anything, you need anyone there, I'm right here with you. You can call me, and I'll be there for support if you need it. 3 days after the first time I talked to Taryn, I ended up overdosing at work. And when I woke up 3 days later, I texted her and said, if I don't get there now, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Like, there's no chance of me coming back if I don't get help now. And I called my nephew. He's who I'm staying with right now. He's a veteran. And he went through his own addictions at a young age, 12 years old. You know, me and him were doing drugs together. And, you know, I look back on it now, and he looked up to me. Him and my brother always looked up to me as kids.
This episode is brought to you by Wolfpack Bags. This gear is meant for anybody gym, lifestyle, to anybody that's on the move. I mean, I like to say that us here and everybody that tunes in, we're not average, we're always a wolf. They have all the goods that you need, especially for anybody that is looking for a bag to carry their meal prep, a lunch pail, anything like that. They have you covered. So once again, go to wolfpack.com, use the code Hopeaholics, save 10%, and join the pack.
You know, as kids, we were like brothers, you know, and we want to do everything together, even though, you know, I'm that older sibling. I'm supposed to be setting the right examples, and I wasn't setting the right examples. And he ended up going through his own addiction at a young age, and I ended up pulling him out of it. And how the tables have turned. He got me here. I wouldn't be here without him. I called him 2 o'clock in the morning. And from Tulare to Lake Elsinore is like a 3.5, 4 hour drive. And I called him that night, no hesitation. That guy packed up his family, came down, picked me up. We went and told my family, which was probably the scariest part of me going to rehab, was talking to my family, because I felt like they were going to look at me and be like, really? Like, after everyone we've lost, everything we've been through, you too? Like, you didn't learn anything? Which your brain overthinks everything. So I get up in front of them and I already start bawling. I'm like, I'm a failure. Like, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth was, I'm sorry, I failed. And everyone just circled around me, grabbed me and hugged me and told me everything was going to be okay. Like, you did the hardest part. You said you need help, and you found that help, and you got that help. Now we just want to see you succeed. You guys were my God shot. Literally, Hopeaholics saved my life. Saved me.
It's crazy, man. I mean, you're bringing tears to my eyes, because, like, that's the whole reason why we do this, you know?
Yeah.
I lost my son-in-law. It was a pretty gnarly day, man, to fentanyl. And, you know, I'm an addict. Like, I get it, dude. Like I understand this disease. Like, I have stage 4 fucking alcoholism, but it's meth. You know? Like, when I say that, I'm like, if you read the Alcoholics Anonymous book, which is the original book, and you read that part about alcoholism, I'm the stage 4 fucking, like, it's all over when I start using.
Yeah.
And, you know, to hear you say that is the reason why this podcast exists, is to try to save a life.
Yeah.
You know, and to hear you say that brings, what I would say, joy to my heart, tears to my eyes, sadness, you know, but gratitude at the same time.
Yeah.
Because that is the hardest part, man. The hardest part is, like, and that's the thing. And that's the thing that, like, the mission about this whole podcast is, like, people don't know that recovery exists. People are also scared to ask for help. People are also think that nobody else will understand.
That was my biggest thing, was asking for help.
It's the hardest thing in the world.
Part that held me back for the longest time, was asking for help.
I mean, and we live in the shame of being stuck in this disease. You know, could you imagine, like, if you had cancer and you were, like, too ashamed to go tell your family that I got to go to fucking chemotherapy or I'm going to die?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But we have the stigma attached to this disease that we have, that we're less than, or we're scumbags, or, you know, whatever it is.
Some of the most amazing, beautiful people I've met is in sobriety.
The coolest people I've ever met in my life,
like,
are in sobriety.
That is my circle now, and that is all I want to keep around me.
I mean, eventually the world is going to be more of us sober people than there are people that are getting loaded and drinking and so-called normies.
Look at the movement that's happening right now, like Jelly Roll, MGK, all of them.
I mean, Eminem's been sober for
he's my
a long
favorite
time.
rapper.
He's my favorite rapper too.
forever and ever. And him getting sober and him being someone I looked up to because I went through that same childhood he did. So he was an outlet for me. He was someone I felt understood what I was going through. And so when he got sober, I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it. And when he says sobriety is his superpower, I know exactly what that means because that's what I use it. I use sobriety as my superpower. That is what keeps me going every single day. Like I tell my family, I have a choice every single day. It doesn't matter where I'm at. If I want to relapse, I'm going to relapse. It doesn't matter what you guys say or what you guys do. If I wanted to do it, I could do it. So you guys can't baby me or hover. You got to let me live my life because no matter what, if I choose to go out, I'm going to go out. But I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I've come too far. And my mom could not get sober. And I could.
Let's talk about that for just for like a quick minute, man, because before the show started, you said that you and your sister found your mom.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
She died February 2018. So February 28th. And it's crazy because my sober date is the 28th. Like, my mom has been with me from the beginning. Because when we found my mom, she had a calendar, and on her calendar, she had a day for rehab. She wanted it.
I mean, I don't.
That's what kills me every single time is to know that she had that date. She had a day she was ready to go. And she gave it one last go. And it was her final one. And the shittiest thing about all of it was my mom was there for a week before anyone found her. Because my mom fell off the grid all the time in her addiction. She would just stop texting out of nowhere. My mom texts us every night a Bible verse and to tell us she loved us every single night. But you knew when she was going through it because you wouldn't hear from her for weeks. But that week, that day, well, a couple days before, I had this feeling in my stomach that something was wrong. And I called my sister. I said, we need to go check on mom. Like, I don't have a good feeling. And she got there before I did. And she had my niece and nephews with her. And I'm so glad that she kept them in the car. The whole thing was weird. My mom didn't drink. My mom did not drink. My mom was an opiate addict for sure. But my mom was not a drinker. And when we got her autopsy, she had a lethal amount of everything. Alcohol too, but there were no alcohol bottles in her house. Someone was there with her. That door was locked, the window was open. My mom, where she lived was a bad area. She never had her window open. Someone cleaned that up and went out that window and just left her there. When we went over there, she was naked, no clothes on. Her dogs were clawing at her, trying to wake her up. And her shower was on. And that smell never leaves. Never leaves. Like, when I entered your guys' facility, when I started to get sober, I started to have such bad nightmares of seeing her that way, and I would wake up and I'd have that smell hit my nose and I'd just break down. And I knew it was something I needed to work on. I needed to work through because I didn't work through any of it. It made me spiral. It made me go down a hole, and I could not get myself out of that hole afterwards. Like, that's where it went dark. Like, throughout middle school, high school, I drank, I smoked weed, I tried cocaine for the first time. At that time, I think we had the Fizz pills that were out, and I was trying things, you know. But what got me was the opiates. I had gotten hurt at work. They prescribed it to me. And at first I was too afraid to use it, you know, like it just brought so much back of my mom, and I was too afraid. But I was also in a really bad relationship, a very abusive relationship, and I wanted to escape. And I remember the first time taking it, and it felt like everything just melted away, and all my problems were fixed, and everything was good. Man, how those things lie to you. They make you think that you're going to be okay as long as you have that pill, as long as you take it. But the more you take it, the more and more you take, and the harder it is to get off of it. When I OD'd, after I woke up, I remember that night I had went and re-upped. I had bought like 120 pills. I only had 10 pills left. God has a purpose for me. I should not be here. God and my mom are like, you got this. My mom's like, I couldn't, but you can. When I remember my first week coming here, they gave us these little bracelets right here, and my mom's favorite Bible verse is John 3:16. My mom was literally with me when I walked through those doors. I got sober on the 28th, which was her death date, was the 28th. The bracelet they gave me was John 3:16, and I could just feel it. I could feel my mom. Something I couldn't feel for a long time. Like, I couldn't remember my mom's laugh, my mom's smile, the things that I wish I could do today. I wish I could hug my mom and tell her I understand and I'm sorry, because I didn't know what you were going through. I didn't know she had told me things, you know, from what she went through before we were born and stuff. And my mom had she chose very horrible men. She was in abusive relationship after abusive relationship, and that's what I seen my whole life. Living with my mom was probably the most chaotic. She got in a really bad marriage. My stepbrother and my step-uncle both sexually abused me throughout the whole time I was there. And I think the hardest thing for me with my mom was she didn't believe me. I was 8. What kind of kid is going to lie to you about that? And that's what took me away from my mom for a long time, was how could you not believe me? How could you not believe that was happening to me when I was going into detail? You know, like, that was the hardest thing to hear a mom say, is that didn't happen. And that I did not work on that for a long time. I didn't tell anyone in my family after that. My dad didn't find out until I was 16 years old. Wow. And he's the one who took me to the police station to make a report. And that step-uncle was already on that registry. And he was able to have adopted kids in his home. And all I could think about was what he had already done. You can't tell me he's not still doing that. Mm-hmm. And that was the betrayal from my mom that made me just hide. If the people who are supposed to protect you the most don't believe you, who's going to? And after that, when things would happen, I kept things to myself because I thought that's what I was supposed to do, you know? Just keep it to yourself. No one's going to believe you anyway. And I had to try to deal with that on my own. As a kid, 8 years old, I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand that my innocence was taken from me. I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why I felt like it was my fault. Like, for a long time, I felt disgusting. For a long time, I felt like it was my fault. And that was to watch my mom get the shit beat out of her every single night. Every single night, I had to climb out of our window to run to the next door neighbors to call the cops. And this was a nightly thing. And the fact that the cops didn't take us away, I mean, the way we were living, we should have been taken away. We didn't have water. We didn't have electricity. We weren't going to school because my mom and them weren't able to get up because they were too high to get us ready for school. We didn't have electricity, water, none of that. And they locked all the cabinets in the refrigerator. And we would go without eating because they were so messed up in their addiction that they didn't realize what they were doing. And if you were to meet my mom, you would never think, looking at that lady, that she would ever put her children through that, And that's the vicious cycle of addiction. The things you think you would never do, you end up doing. And my mom was chased down by those demons. She couldn't forgive herself for everything she did. Even though I was able to tell her before she passed away that I forgave her for what happened, I was already starting to go through my addiction. She didn't know that. No one knew it, but I started to understand where she was coming from. So I was starting to, I forgive you, Mom, without saying how I understood or why I understood. And then I go from one house with addiction to another. We went back to my dad. My dad had been trying to find us for years. My mom, she kept him to where he couldn't contact us through the school or anything. We thought our dad wanted nothing to do with us. We thought he forgot all about us. One night, my mom OD'd, and she flatlined. I watched my mom flatline so many times. And the cop looked at me and said, "You've seen too much." I was 9. And I told him, "Stop. She does this all the time. This is what she wants. She doesn't want to be here anymore." I look back on it now and I'm like, that was my normal. I thought every kid went through what I was going through. I thought everything I seen and everything I went through was something every family went through. Until I started to go to school and realize that that's not right. Mm-hmm. I didn't have my parents there for award ceremonies and games and everything while everyone else is cheering their kids on. I'm looking out there like, where are my parents? Where's my family? I grew up feeling so alone because I was. I had 2 parents who couldn't take care of me, and I didn't understand it at the time. I started taking care of my brother. My brother is my best friend. He's the baby, and we're 2 years apart. So from middle school till today, we've been like this. I mean, I hid him from everything, I would hide him in the closet and tell him to be quiet. Shh, be quiet. I'm going to go get help. I'll be back. I protected him, but I didn't have that protection for me. And I think looking back on it now, that's all I wanted, was for someone to look at me and see me. And I didn't have that. I didn't see that. I couldn't even see me. I'd look in the mirror and I didn't recognize the person looking back at me. That was even before addiction. Like, I just felt like nothing. I felt like just an empty shell. But sobriety, that's brought me somewhere I never thought I'd be. I smile so much now. I can't stop smiling because I have so much to be thankful for. I mean, how do you go through all of that, get to where I am today, and not be thankful and not want to help another person? Right now, I work at AM/PM in Lake Elsinore, and I didn't know that God was going to use me that way. I've helped so many people just by talking to them as I'm helping them check out. I had one guy come in and I broke down. He came in, something just told me to ask him if he was okay. I looked at him, I said, "Hey man, are you okay?" He starts bawling. And he goes, "After I left here, I was going to go home and end my life because I feel like no one cares." He goes, "I haven't been asked if I'm okay in a really long time." And that just, it hit me. And I started telling him my story. You know, any chance I get with a customer who will stand there a little bit longer to talk, I'll tell them my story, because you never know what another person is going through. You never know who needs to hear it, who just needs to hear, "Hello, how are you? Hope you have a good day." I was not a people person for a very long time, and now I can't picture myself doing anything else but helping other people. Like, I was nervous coming here today. Like, public speaking isn't normally my thing. Until I start talking, then I get comfortable, and then I can't shut up.
Welcome to the club, baby.
Because public speaking ain't our thing either.
It'll be the same way.
Gonna be honest with you right now. Natalie and I are freaks, but like you know, it's like you said though. It's like God gave you a story.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a shame if you don't use it, because there's not a person that comes on the podcast that a life doesn't get saved.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's story is important, because, like, you know, you grew up how you grew up, and I grew up how I grew up, and it's like I thought everybody's life was like mine.
Yeah.
You know, mine's different. I grew up in this more like glamorous life of where my dad was on TV all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, private school, but I still like felt different.
Yeah.
And I was still hurting inside, and I was sexually abused at the by church people, and you know, people that you're supposed to like trust.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't even have to be drug addicts that do this shit to you, man. You know, like, people are sick in this world.
Yeah.
And but then we get to have this beautiful story, man. And if you don't use your story, if you don't use your voice, you're wasting your life.
Yeah.
Because like people are like, what's my purpose? We have one purpose as human beings, and that's to be of maximum service to God and others.
Amen.
Like, that is literally our purpose. However that ends up forming and looking for you is what it looks for you. For me, it ended up being like I was rescued when my daughter was born. You know, I was rescued. I had a moment of clarity, a long enough moment that Hope by the Sea exists.
Yeah.
You know, like, that became my primary purpose. And then through all of this, it's all of this now. It's just my voice, and it's always been my voice. It's always been my story, and it's your story.
Yeah.
Your story is the most important thing that you have. It doesn't define who you are today.
No, not at all. And I tell people that all the time, you know, like, if you were to ask me if I'd change anything that happened in my life, if I could go back and not become an addict, I wouldn't change my story.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't change my story.
I think I'd be an asshole.
Me
I'm
too.
really loving because I've been through so much pain.
I have that big heart, and I love with all I have, because I know what it's like to feel like
Exactly.
no one loves you. You know, like I can't.
How many people can say that? A lot. And so
Yeah.
because of all the pain and the trials and the tribulations of how you were raised, and the family separation, and the parents not being together, and like the mom and then terrible partners, and witnessing that, it's like, unfortunately, you aren't the only one that has had a childhood like that.
No, your story is actually very.
Which
is sad.
yeah.
Right? But it also is the fact that you're breaking a generational curse too, because both of your parents were addicts straight out before you were even here on this earth.
And I'm going to give a shout out to my dad, because he's been sober 13 years now.
Oh my gosh, see?
And his
Wow.
also my stepmom, Mama Diana, she's been sober for 11 years. And so I have that sober community back home too. So I go home a lot. I go home and visit a lot.
Yeah.
My family, we're big on our family. You know, family's everything to us, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today without my family. Like, I'm blessed to still have my family.
Sure.
You know, like, addiction, it takes a lot from you.
Yeah.
And we also, as addicts, don't realize what it does to the people in our lives
Totally.
and what we've put them through. All the stress and they suffer too.
Oh,
And I know that.
And that's
you
such
know,
an important thing that we as addicts, you know, we have to remember. We really have to like ingrain that in our memory, that not only we aren't the only ones that suffered because of our disease.
Yeah.
Like everybody that loves us suffers, and we forget about that often because like we first off, our disease is self-centered. It's insanely self-centered. And we think we're only hurting ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is another one of the big lies of addiction, right? The first lie it tells us is that this is how we want to feel for the rest of our lives. This is amazing. What a lie.
I know. The chase.
What
part.
a lie.
I know.
Like, I love hearing like everybody with their different drugs, because like for me, I had tried marijuana. I had drank alcohol.
Yeah.
And a lot of our guests, it's alcohol, man.
Yeah.
But like for me, like I went to the weed dealer's house and he didn't have any fucking weed that day. And he's all, I got some speed. And I was like, what's speed? I'd heard of it.
Yeah.
Because I knew like speed would make you like skinny, and I was a chubby kid.
Okay.
And man, I did that fucking line. And it was like, that was it. I had arrived. I was like, holy shit, this is what everybody else in the world feels like.
And in high school, when I started to party and start trying things, I remember drinking and smoking weed. I did that at an early age. I was like 11 years old the first time I smoked and the first time I drank. And like, I thought it was normal for an 11-year-old to be doing these things, you know? Like,
you have an 11-year-old.
Yeah, and it's like, I look at my nieces and my nephews, and I'm like, oh, if I ever catch you.
Right.
You know, and it's crazy to look back on now. Like, the things you did in high school, back then, fentanyl wasn't around, you know? Like, now, like, I tell my niece and my nephews, you can't take anything from anyone. Like, you may trust your friend, but you don't know where your friend got that. Right. Your friend don't know where that guy got that. Like, there's a line.
Unless you're getting that shit from the pharmacy, you don't know what the fuck is in there.
Yeah.
And you know, for a long time, I tried to tell myself, I'm not doing fentanyl. That's not what I'm doing. I'm getting my shit off the streets. I'm doing fentanyl.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Well, when you came here, did we drug test you?
yeah.
Were you positive for fentanyl?
Yeah.
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 Lots
My
of it.
my favorite, not my favorite. It's not. It's a really fucked up thing. It's really fucked up. But like we get people in that like they've never even done opiates, so they think, right?
It's not their DOC.
It's not their drug of choice. They've been using fucking meth their whole life.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they,
I've had
This one's
people.
they come
Wow.
rolling into Hope by the Sea. And we drug test everybody because
Yeah.
we need to know what you're going to be detoxing
I
so we
don't
can
know
get
how
you the
many
right
people
meds.
I've heard here. You
Yeah.
know, like while I was here, like I tested
never
for
believe this.
fentanyl. I've never done fentanyl. I'm like, it's in everything.
Yeah.
Like,
It's scary.
And it's like
is.
it's sad too because like I've had a meth detox.
yeah.
Not bad. Lots of sleeping, lots of eating. And unless you're in psychosis, you don't really need much. Valium's nice, or if you're in psychosis, and you just give them a Zyprexa or two.
Yeah.
Get them out of that psychosis, get them to sleep. But man,
Fentanyl.
Yeah.
fentanyl ain't the same thing.
No. I literally thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, you
Like-
feel like you're gonna die.
Like every single time I tried so many times to quit on my own,
Sure.
like I would make it to that third day and be like, no, like I can't do it. Like you can't do it alone. Like you can if you really, really put yourself there. But every time I got to that third day, everything inside of me was like, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Or just kill yourself because this is going
Sure.
to hurt really fucking bad. And that's how I felt. Like every time I would try to do it on my own, I'm like, I don't want to. Like I got to the point in my addiction that I was so tired of feeling the way I felt. It wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing anymore. It was literally just making me to where I wasn't sick.
Yeah.
I wasn't high anymore. It was literally just to get me through my days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the end of my addiction, and I was fucking doing. I'm an IV drug user, and I don't like to glamorize, but I was doing full pulse, 100 fucking units of just pure thick fucking. And here's the thing, I would feel nothing, and I'd be like, this shit's bunk. I'd be like, this shit's
Right?
fucking bunk.
It wasn't us.
Yeah.
It was the drug.
I'd
It was our shit.
I'd give it to somebody else, and they'd be like, "This shit's fucking bomb, dude. The fuck are you talking about?" Like, just
Like, when
nothing.
my family didn't realize like where my addiction took me, like when
Yeah.
I finally talked to my family when I was here and told them like what I was doing, they were like, "What?" My family, they know what addiction does. They know what addiction is, but they don't know all the scary shit that's out there.
Sure.
The fentanyl. You have kratom now. Things
know.
that you can buy at a smoke shop, and I tell my aunt and them like, watch these things because the kids, they're gonna try to find something one way or another, and just I tell my sister and them all the time, like, you need to watch them because
Yeah.
your kids aren't going to tell you when they're doing
I mean, you
something
can
they're
get
not
half that
supposed to be
shit at a
doing.
gas station. So
Yeah.
it's like I was watching
When-
I was watching a podcast about the kratom and all, and they got one that's called opioid something.
They have crack.
Horrible.
It's it's like
it's called opium
something.
opi-
It's like it's literally just it says opiate in it.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking
yeah. And then there's pseudos.
The gas station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's ones called pressed, and they're blue.
Wow.
Oh,
and
well
they're
that's like
pressed.
setting you up
And,
for
like
fucking
like if you look at a lot of the crap they have out there for this kratom shit, it's starting to look more and more like fentanyl and opiates. Like
It's just
scary.
part of the
It's
fucking
scary.
epidemic. So that's how sick it's getting though. Like, and it's not like who's to blame. I mean,
Everyone.
everyone is to blame. Everyone is to blame
Kind of.
because
Yeah,
without the demand, there is the supply chain doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
How about this one? How is it regulated that the nicotine, like a Zyn pouch, can't be sold, say, like a flavored version in a gas station, but yet here we are pressing blue pills that look like God knows what?
They're in, you know, just to be clear,
Or kratom.
Kratom.
Yeah.
That's
Kratom lives on the same receptors as the opioid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kratom requires, well, it doesn't require, but you will have almost as bad of a detox
Yeah.
from kratom as you will from fentanyl or heroin or Oxycontin. It doesn't matter. And this shit is legal.
And they're allowing
and
that in.
I've had a couple of my friends be like, "Well, it's legal," and I'm like,
No, that's what
I'm like,
tough.
and think about it. I'm like, open your eyes. It's legal. Look at what they're doing.
Well, GHB used to be legal too. You used to be able to be able to
date
buy
rape drug?
the date rape drug at GNC because it was a really good muscle builder. It was great for building muscle and making you lean. Take too much and you lean too hard.
You don't remember shit.
Yeah, dude.
Before
Scary.
I even came to Rehab, I never even knew what kratom was.
Right.
Until I had went to a meeting and I heard someone in there say, I thought I was good when I left.
Yeah.
And then I found this thing called kratom and I'm looking at people like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is he talking about?
You want to know who's to blame? Society is to blame because like the big pharma is to blame for all, like 90% of all of this. Let me tell you why. Because in America, we have made it okay to go to the doctor when we don't feel good inside, not of an ailment, but just because we're having an emotional feel. This has been going on long before I was born. You know, Valium has been around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
It's a drug that was around before I was even born, and I'm 51. And they used to have commercials for Valium, you know, and Valium was non-addictive. Valium is
like
one of the most addictive drugs on the planet.
Wasn't it
And it's
like-
actually one of the drugs that if you don't get a medical detox, if you're physically addicted to it, you will die.
Yeah.
And the other one is alcohol.
Yep.
So benzodiazepines, which is Valium.
And we prescribe them like candy. We do.
And the other one is alcohol.
Which we glamorize like it's this fucking
Yeah.
amazingness all over and put it in movies and
It's
TV
everywhere.
shows. And
it's like
And they're
we
beautiful
can go
people.
to a doctor to get prescribed something
Yeah.
because we're having a feeling.
yeah.
I'm here to tell y'all today that feelings are actually just feelings.
And it's
And they're
good
not
to feel them.
They're not like good or bad. They're
And I don't like all of them all the time.
You don't have the ones that you don't like. It's only because you haven't learned to be comfortable feeling it.
Yeah.
Like for instance, when you were talking to me about how you found us,
yeah.
and I was having feelings.
Yeah.
But I loved the fact that I was almost crying, like tears were
Same.
coming to my eyes because and that's something I would have fought before. I'd have been like, I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel this.
This makes me
Like,
feel weak.
fuck that. Like, you know what? You don't want to know what's fucking tough? Somebody that can actually feel their feelings and not put anything
Yeah.
in their body
Yeah.
to fucking change it.
And I can now tell you how I feel. Like
Right.
I can actually pinpoint how I'm feeling, what I'm feeling, and why I'm feeling.
Sure.
Oh, and I cannot blame you for the fact that I'm feeling this feeling
Yeah.
because it's my feeling, not yours.
It's not your fault.
Yeah, like that's the thing too. Like how often do we do that? Well, you know, it's like I learned this in therapy a long ass time ago. I feel when you like, okay. I don't even know if that's good. Like that's like a therapy try. But like if I'm saying like I'm
Yeah.
like I feel Natalie, I feel upset when you come into the office wearing those glasses. That's a good one, huh, Emily? Ain't your fault. You can wear those glasses if you want to
That's
wear
right.
those glasses, right? But I feel annoyed.
Right. And I feel bad for you.
I don't know if we should put this out to the world that's how you fucking get through feelings. But like, you know, comedy is a good way to get through feelings. Like
Man.
just like fucking be okay that like sometimes you hurt.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're happy.
And I think-
Sometimes you're sad.
And I think it's really important because what it does is, or at least it's helped teach me, like, and what I find attractive in other people is emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, where it's like, it doesn't make you weak or this or that. But if you can understand and regulate your own emotions, I think that is extremely powerful. Because how many times have I in the past drank or used or picked up strictly based off emotions? Probably the vast majority, because I don't like being in my skin or this whatever. I could use any excuse, good, bad, or indifferent. But it goes to now being in sobriety, where life is going to come at you in multiple different ways. People are not going to act the way that I want them to act. But that does not mean that I have to react and get all out of my own character, which I don't want to do. Does it happen? Sure, sometimes. But I try to negate that as much as I possibly can, so that way I don't keep harvesting this like same bad behavior. You know?
Let's talk really quick about, because there's always like stuff that people are like, if this happens, I won't be okay. Right?
Oh, right.
Let's talk about that for a second. Death of a child. You know, and I know
Sure.
I know you don't have children, but like death of a child. Like oftentimes moms are like, if my son or daughter dies, I will not be able to get through that. And that's what we tell ourselves. It's not true though.
Right, because we've seen, how many moms have we had either on
our podcast
alone, or like I've heard in meetings where really tragic shit has happened to them and they have not picked up or used. So like, even though I don't have children of my own, I know because of somebody else, it is possible.
There is nothing that can happen in your life that you can't get through. Nothing.
Not a thing.
You may not want to.
Right.
But there is a point where like you have to accept that this happens. And I think that the only way that you can get to this true acceptance though is like right on your shirt right there. It's like Jesus, God, whatever you want to call your higher power, whatever it is, you have to be so spiritually fit. You have to, because life is going to happen.
Life is going to life.
It's going to life no matter what. And it's like, how are we going to deal with that?
I now know that I can deal with the hard shit without doing hard shit.
Without fucking getting loaded, right? Like, we can. We actually can. We can get through whatever life throws at us.
Like early sobriety, you get on this pink cloud.
Of course.
You know?
I
and
love
then,
that
like,
pink cloud.
When you
I hate when it goes away.
Yeah, when you come off that pink cloud, you're like, what's going on?
Totally.
Am I like falling back, And it took me a minute to realize that's normal.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You're not going to have a perfect day every day. Come on.
No.
I did hear
it's not
a dude
happening.
share the other day. He's like, man, was it on the podcast or was it at a meeting? Because I'm about to tell you, and maybe you or Emily will remember. But he was like, I got on my pink cloud 11 years ago, and I never fucking got off. And it's because if you do the work on a daily basis, and that's the thing, like life does happen. And life, and I'm the only one that gets in the way of life, because for me, life is God's plan for me. And a guy just the other day said, it was just the other day on this podcast, hasn't been released yet, but he literally said that wherever God wants me to be, that's where I'm going to be, and that's where I'm going to be okay.
Amen. I
that's
said that last night.
That's the ultimate place to be in your spiritual journey, in your spirituality. Because truly, if we're doing a real honest and thorough third step, and if we've gotten all the way to the 11th step, which is very similar to the third step, it's just with more depth. We sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him. Praying only. See, my prayers today are only for the knowledge of God's will for me and the power to carry that out. Now, I do pray for other stuff like protection and all of these things, because I do know what God's will for me is, and I know that when I'm in God's will and the deeper I am into all of this, that the devil is going to try to distract me. The devil only has the ability to try to distract you. Nothing else.
Nope.
Nothing else. Can't fuck up your life, can't fuck up your plans, and except with throwing in a wrench. Like, ha, look at this.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, what's that shiny thing over there?
Yep.
You know?
have a choice. You have a choice every day.
And we get a daily reprieve. That's all we get.
Yeah.
So do the work every day. It doesn't take long.
And you have to do it every day.
Right? It doesn't take long.
That's the thing. Like
Doesn't.
like
but I'm like to bitch and complain.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And
the thing too. Like
get
with me is
excused by.
fuck that, man. If I make a decision to work with somebody, you're gonna do these like 5 simple tasks every day, and it won't take you more than 15 minutes. But I promise you that if you do these 5 simple things, you won't get loaded today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's how easy this program is. And we'll stack up those 5 things, become eventually the 12 steps.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's as simple as it is. But one thing that you're gonna do if I'm gonna work with you is you're gonna do a gratitude list every day, and you're gonna send it to me in text. You're gonna tell me 5 things that you're grateful for.
I do that with myself every day, and every day I look myself in that mirror and I tell myself I love myself. Mm-hmm. Because there was a point in time I looked in that mirror and I hated the person I seen.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I can now look in that mirror and smile at myself and know I'm going to be okay.
No matter what.
No matter what. I have a sober community. That's like one of the best things getting sober is every single person that you come in contact with and meet that have either a similar story to yours, or it could be totally different from yours, but something there is the same. Mm-hmm. And it's the way we all feel that we're like the black sheep of the family.
Right.
It's like every single recovering addict I've talked to, they all say that, And today, I have so much to thank God for. I was telling my aunt before coming here, I'm so nervous. She's like, you're going to do amazing, baby. I'm like, well, God brought me to it. He's going to bring me through it.
That's right.
And I tell myself those things every single day. I can't do this without God. Like, I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for him. He kept me here. He has a purpose for my life. And I'm going to use it to help other people. That's what I want to do. I've always wanted to help other people. That's what I've always wanted to do with my life. That's just who I am. I have that big heart that I want everyone to be okay.
Yeah.
And I want to know when I leave this world that I made a difference in someone else's life for the better. That all the negative things that happened to me in my life brought me to this very big positive moment in my life. I'm looking at different things that I would have never seen myself doing today, writing a book, about my life, and starting a clothing brand, and wanting to start a podcast and everything. The things that I didn't think were possible are now possible today. And I now have other people in my corner who know what I've been through, who have been there, and they don't judge you, They know because they've been there too. And it still amazes me till this day to see where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And to know that God's not done yet. It's only the beginning. I would have never thought I'd be on a podcast telling my story. I would have never even thought of telling my story before getting sober. I didn't want to talk about that. I didn't even want to think about it, let alone talk about it. So
You're doing it.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it.
And I really thank you guys for it, because you guys are the reason I'm here today.
We maybe played a little baby's glimmer of something.
You
but
did.
You showed up.
Yeah.
You picked up the 12,000 pound weight.
I now can say I'm proud of myself. I used to not.
For sure.
And I used to, I don't know why, like just saying I'm proud of myself, like back in the day was like, what do you have to be proud of? And
Well,
now
today is different.
Yeah. Like I'm proud to be alive.
For sure.
I shouldn't even be here.
Proud of your
Here I am.
sobriety.
Yeah.
Proud of your journey. Proud of that you sat in that seat across from us to tell your story.
Yeah. And even
Good,
though
bad,
I'm
or indifferent. Who
sweating,
cares? Doesn't matter.
I'm still here.
Right. And you go through it.
Yeah.
Faith over fear.
Yeah.
And you're helping somebody that
Well, yeah.
tunes in.
That's the thing, man. I can tell you when people like, you know, ask me like, or they don't know what their purpose in life, and I say that it's, I said what I said earlier. Our primary purpose,
Yep.
just as human beings, is to be of maximum service to God and others. But what that starts to look like is, you know, God doesn't like put things in our lives or be of service that things are comfortable. He doesn't want us to be comfortable. There's no growth in being comfortable. So like how ironic is it for me that my biggest fear in life is public speaking? How ironic is it that one of the best things in life that one of my biggest gifts is that I'm a really good public speaker.
Yeah.
I'm a really good storyteller. And like, how ironic is it that Natalie's biggest fear in life, I don't know if it's her biggest, but it might be spiders or something like that, or men or something. I don't know. I don't actually know what her biggest fear is. That's why I'm like making all this shit up. But like her and she gets nervous as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you fucking wrestled in the WWE,
Right.
like in a bikini. Like, what the fuck? In front of 110,000 people. There's only 300 people out here we're about to go speak in.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm freaking out.
Yeah, because I think public speaking is obviously, I think everybody's one of their biggest fears. But I think it's ironic, or how funny is it, since we're on that scheme, is the one thing that I used to pretend that I didn't have, which is my problem, or working a 12-step program, or having an addiction, or having alcoholism. I would try to hide and keep quiet and have nobody know. Fast forward to now, look at me today, where that's all that I talk about. I'll talk about Jesus. I'll talk about God.
Amen.
I'll talk about
Yes.
12 steps. I'll talk about whatever it is that is maintaining someone's sobriety.
Like there's
that journey.
There's a God movement going on right now.
Oh,
too.
I could not agree with you.
There's
It's
two. There's two movements
on the go.
There's two movements
Yes.
going on, and like, I don't know, man. I don't know where shit's at, because my whole entire life, you know, church and God and people have been saying the world is coming to an end. But like, it looks pretty.
Very
it
well.
looks pretty interesting right now, because like, you know, when
Jesus
people,
is coming.
When people were telling me this in the 1980s, like.
Yeah.
We didn't almost have fucking robots that are fucking artificial intelligence. We didn't have Chat GP. We didn't even have the motherfucking cell phone.
Now I'm like, I believe.
Okay, now I'm starting
Now,
to be like, okay.
Yep.
And like, everything is so divided. Like, you know, what the fuck side are we supposed to be on? Let me tell you what side. Jump on the God side.
Yes.
You know, and you don't even have to be like a Jesus freak.
Or religion,
religious. Just jump on the God side. Like, just jump. I believe in Jesus, and that's just my thing. But I don't believe that just because you don't believe in Jesus that you're not going to heaven. That sounds a little crazy to me, because, you know, we interpret the Bible however we interpret the Bible, and you go to church, you show up in church sometimes, and they're like, but it says this, the only way to the Father is through the Son.
Yeah.
So do you know, as a man, as a human being, whether or not my soul knows Jesus Christ?
No.
Like, you don't know that.
don't
Man
know that.
doesn't
Totally.
know that. Like, when I die, like, or the second coming happens, whether it, because I don't know when the second coming happens. He might actually
says
come
that in the Bible.
He might actually come, but also when you die, I believe that he's there, because I've been really close to death, man.
Yeah.
And I've experienced,
And he knows your
Jesus.
heart.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, he might ask you, after you're dead, do you know who I am? And if your soul knows who he is, and I believe your soul does know who he is,
Yep.
you're going to say, I do know who you are.
Yep.
Yes, I do know who you are. You've walked me off the ledge a million times.
Millions of times.
So here's the thing, like they can twist and interpret that however man wants to influence or shame you or do whatever. I'm not here to do that, man. Yeah. I'm here to tell people, jump on our side.
Yeah.
Because we're all about love, and I believe that love is God and God is love.
Amen.
And it doesn't matter which direction you put it in. He is only love. So if it's not about love, if it's not about caring, if it's about hate, if it's about scare tactics, that ain't it.
No.
That ain't it. It's about having seen Alcoholics Anonymous, in my opinion, was like Jesus. Given by Jesus, because like Jesus came down to preach to us, that the people that were hurting, that were in pain. He also preached to the righteous inside of the synagogues and said, this is not what God wants. He also went in there and said, this is not correct.
Yeah.
So, like, just find love, find your heart.
I tell people all the time, like, because religion for a lot of people is a touchy thing, and I tell people, all God wants is a relationship with you.
That's it.
That's it.
That
is it.
After that,
he
it is whatever.
Doesn't care about the religion. Religious are the ones who beat him,
Man messes everything up.
Come all brokenhearted, come who are all weary.
Yep.
I'm right here. Like,
that's it.
When I say there's a God movement,
it's big.
For years, I've been praying for my family to get back to God. Mm-hmm. And every single person in my family is back in church.
Nice. It's
something beautiful. I didn't think would happen for a very long time. And to see it happening before my eyes, like, I get to see that now that I'm sober.
Yep.
I would have missed all of this, all of the amazing things happening, not just in my life, my family's life. I would have missed all of that. And I'm the favorite uncle for all my nieces and nephews. My babies are my babies. And I almost lost out on all of their lives, and for a minute there, they lost me. Like, addiction takes you from your family, whether you want it to or not. Like, I got to a point where I hid in my room. Like, the only time I left my house was literally to go to work and then come home. And I'd stay in my room and I'd hide. And my sister was always so afraid that she was going to come home and find me the way she found my mom. And I think about it now all the time. Like, if my sister and my niece, my nephews would have found me like that, like, shame on me. Shame on me. Because I would never want to put my babies through that. Sure. And I was so selfish. I didn't see what I was doing. I didn't see that they could see what I was doing. I was so blind to it. And when I got here and my brother was sending me pictures of me knotted out, like, we knew that you weren't going to get help if you weren't going to get it for yourself. We couldn't tell you that we were going to take you to rehab because that's not going to work. You have to want it for you. So they said every single day, all they did was pray, God, please open his eyes before it kills him. Mm-hmm. Open his eyes, please.
And now you're here.
He opened my eyes. And it's just a good feeling.
Yeah. It's a
my heart.
Amazing.
Like, the love in my heart for everyone.
For yourself.
Mainly for myself, because I hated myself for so long. I did not want to love me. Now I love every bit of me. And I don't wish that my life was any different, or that I went through things differently, or that I had a mom and a dad who were there. Yeah, when I was a kid, that's all I wanted was my parents. But I wouldn't be here today. No. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if I didn't go through every single thing that I went through. And God's brought me through every single bit of it. God has been in my life since I was a kid. And he's not going anywhere.
Mm-mm.
No.
Even through my addiction, God was there. I was talking to God through my addiction. Like,
he's always there.
One of the closest times I got to God was in my addiction, because I didn't know where to turn. And I knew there was one that listened and didn't judge. And he was the only person I could talk to for a long time, because I felt like I had no one to talk to. So that was my therapist for a very long time, trying to work through everything, was talking to God, writing to God. Like, I love the fact that I still have all of those journals from like through my addiction, and then in my sobriety. I still have my journal and stuff from being in rehab and everything, and looking back through those journals and seeing, like, going from this broken person who showed up here and then reading what I write now. It's two totally different things. It was so dark and so scary, and now it's like I pushed myself out of that darkness, and God's just gonna bring me to the light, and He's gonna keep me there, and I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna be right there with God, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today without Him.
Yeah,
For sure.
Well, thanks for coming on, bro. We really enjoyed this
Yes,
podcast.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, you're doing it.
Keep doing it.
Keep
Maybe
doing
one
it.
day I can get my siblings to
Yeah.
come talk to you guys.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like to hear it from their perspective too. You
Oh
know?
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It'd be
it's great.
Yeah.
We actually love that, because
Yeah,
they
we
need
do.
to hear that too.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
You
All right,
guys
man.
hear that? I know you guys are gonna
Yeah,
be watching
right?
later,
Yeah,
so
come holler at us.
I'm just saying.
I love it. Thank
Thanks,
you so
man.
much.
Yeah.